YouTube, on our outreach page, CCD75 Outreach. We are now going to call to order the business meeting for CCD75 April 2024 at 6:18 p.m. Mandarin interpretation, you have the floor to give your instructions.
Hello, 大家好. Good evening. This is Mandarin interpreter Zio. I will be announcing the interpretation line for Mandarin. 晚上好，欢迎大家来到这里听今天的会议。我们有提供中文普通话翻译。如果您需要中文普通话翻译的家长们，请你拨打翻译热线34796641114，然后再输入会议的 ID。362147957，井号键再播报一遍。如果需要中文普通话翻译的家长，请您拨打电话34796641114，然后再输入会议的 ID 362147957，井号键。谢谢。Thank you, I'm done.
Thank you. Spanish interpreters, you have the floor to give your instructions.
Good evening. The following message will be in Spanish. Si desea escuchar el audio en español, el número para la línea en español es 347-966-4114 y la clave de ingresar 420-363-085, símbolo numeral. Una vez más, ese número es 347-966-4114 y la clave de ingresar 420-363-085, símbolo numeral. Gracias. This concludes the Spanish intro.
Thank you so very much. Haylene, we will go ahead and hand it back over to you for a roll call for the council.
Did you do the other interpretations we requested?
Do we have Bengali here?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I did not. Apologies. Bengali interpreter, you have the floor. Please do give your instructions. Thank you, Haylene.
Thank you. The following message will be for Bangla participants. শুভ সন্ধ্যা সবাইকে। আপনারা যারা আজকে এই মিটিংটি বাংলায় শুনতে চান সেক্ষেত্রে আপনার ফোন থেকে ডায়াল করবেন 347-966-4114। আমি আবারও বলছি, বাংলায় শুনতে আপনার ফোন থেকে ডায়াল করবেন 347-966-4114 এবং কনফারেন্স আইডি দিতে হবে 720-338-666#। কনফারেন্স আইডিটি আবার বলছি 720-338-666 এবং হ্যাশ। আপনার যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে চ্যাট বক্সে লিখতে পারেন, আর মেসেজে দেওয়া আছে কিভাবে করবেন এটিও দেখে ডায়াল করতে পারেন। ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে। থ্যাংক ইউ। বাংলা ইজ ডান।
Thank you so very much. Haylene, we will now pass it over to you for a roll call.
Sure. Christy Angel,
Present.
Brisa Arias, Jamaica Collins,
Present.
Andrea Daniels,
Present.
Christy Montalban,
Present.
Shanique Butler,
Present.
John Herman, Vanessa Borrero. On her way, 5. We do not have quorum. 5 members present.
Okay, with that being said, we can go ahead and try to visit some of the items on the agenda that may not necessarily need a vote so that we can move forward. Do we have someone that's willing to be a timekeeper?
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you so much. We will try to get through here in an orderly, quick fashion. We do have the minutes for approval. So seeing that we do not have quorum, if members can take a moment to just review the minutes that our Secretary Butler and our AA Verdejo have done collectively. If there are any changes, please do let us know. With that being said, as you review those minutes, we'll move to the next space, which is our bylaws discussion. I wanted to bring to the floor, and we can revisit this as well when Councilmember Barrero does make it to the location. as we work with our District 75 representatives 1 through 32, the question is, do we want to, excuse me, I did not silence my phone. Do we want to solidify in our bylaws how we choose to work with those members 1 through 32 for our council, so that if we're here, if we're not here, as people come in and continue to move with the council, they have some type of legacy, some kind of groundwork to understand what we would have liked to continue to move forward. They do have the right to move forward as they like and would want to as a council. So I wanted to put that out as a point of discussion to hear what other members might think in regard to maybe having some type of bylaws discussion and kind of hashing that out. Do we have any commentary toward that?
I do. Being on another council as a District 75 rep, I think that would be a great thing, because we don't have guidance when we other places. And if they can come together as, as looking for our council for guidance, I think that'd be great.
Okay. Thank you, Secretary Butler. Do we have any other members who have any feedback? If not, we'll leave that open and make sure that we circle back so that we don't exclude Councilmember Barrero's voice in that space. The next space is CCD75 vacancy and interviews. As you guys know, we do have a vacancy. Currently, we did have one person that submitted, but the vetting process, they were not able to complete. So we are still looking for people to submit to the council. We are looking for, I believe, Haylene, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 Brooklyn spaces?
No, 1 Brooklyn, 1 Queens, I believe, or Manhattan.
Okay. So we'll make sure to put that back out with a little bit of clarity. But we do have 2 positions that we are looking for. So if you do have people that would fit the position, that do have the time and willingness to serve and work with our council and are willing to go through the process, please do have them reach out to CCD75 schools at nyc.gov so that we can send them an application and get them started in the process, so that we may go ahead and flesh out our council, as we are not completely full at this moment. We'll make sure to give every council member the access to the flyers so that we can make a collective push. Again, I know it's rough and there's a lot of people that are having a lot of different spaces and vacancies on their councils, but we want to continue to try.
We also need another public advocate appointee, because we only have 1.
Yes, the latest that I have with that, I've spoken with Elizabeth Kennedy at the Public Advocate's Office. We were advised that they were really trying to push to have someone here in March. That has yet to happen. And at this point, I think we just have to ask for another update, because we do not know anything further than they are still trying to do their due diligence to get us a advocate. This is the longest we've waited, but it doesn't seem like they're not doing the work. It just doesn't seem like we have a lot of different candidates to be able to push forward.
Also, council member Vanessa Barrera came in, so we have quorum.
Okay, can we make sure to note that Mrs. Barrero is here at 6:26 p.m. and the council is now in quorum? Could you guys let me know when Ms. Barrero is situated, so we can go back over the minutes and the bylaw discussion that she missed in brief?
Yeah, she's trying to log in. I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you so much. Is Vanessa able to hear
She
me?
said she's on.
You're on? All righty. Well, thank you
That's
so
what
much.
she said, yes.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so Ms. Burrell, in brief, we'll go back over what we were discussing that we'll want to vote on shortly is adding how we want to work with our District 75 representatives in seats 1 through 32 with the CECs so that we can make sure we maintain legacy, and whether we or other people are here in this council, they understand how to move forward and at minimum have groundwork to expand upon that in how they move forward in working with the representatives 1 through 32. So we're looking into having a bylaws meeting where we can kind of flesh out what that looks like if all members, or at least 6 members, are of the mindset that we should go ahead and make this a part of our bylaws. Secretary Butler did stand in agreement, as well as Co-President Daniels, and we wanted to make sure that you had information in regard to that. And to back us back up into our calendar, into our agenda, everyone now sees the agenda that was provided. Do we have any amendments that we want to add to this agenda? If not, the agenda is adopted. With that being said, we'll move.
I have a question. Excuse me, I'm sorry, Co-President Christie Angel, I have a question. Wasn't we gonna discuss about that other committee we was on?
Yes, it's on the agenda.
Where is that?
Right before Staten Island Fair discussion.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome. So to jump into this, if all members, as we spoke earlier, as we were waiting for our council members to arrive, the minutes have been disseminated by Secretary Butler and RAA Verdejo. Do we have any amendments or corrections for the minutes? If we do not have any amendments and or corrections, the minutes are adopted as distributed with corrections if you do have an opportunity to find any that may be needed to be added. With the vacancy discussion, Councilmember Verdejo, just to bring you up to speed, we do have 2 vacancies, Queens and Brooklyn, and we are still diligently looking to fill that vacancy. If members and people, constituents, family members and parents, if you do know or can recommend someone to the council, we would highly be appreciative of that. The next point that we do want to discuss is the Bronx Parade. CEC member Stephanie and Vice President Stephanie Bonilla, and also Wanda Belines and Rima Escudero. They are chairing the Bronx Parade. They have reached out to the council and they would like the council to attend the parade, be a part of the parade, walk with the different D75 schools. This will be on Sunday, May 19th. I do not have the time frame in front of me. Co-President Daniels, do you have that available to you at hand, or should I look it up really quickly?
I don't have it on hand right now. Maybe you can look it up.
Okay,
but I did this parade last year.
I do have it.
Last year.
Wanda, if you could put it in the chat for us, we're not at the public comment yet.
Okay.
Thank you so much. 1 second. I just want to make sure we have the time frame. I know that President Daniels, you said that you would commit to being there as a parent as well as a council member. I'm pulling it up now. This says, so the District 75, District 11 committee is having the annual parade, and this will be May 19th, 2024. It does not have specific times here yet, but we will find out more information as the steering committee is asking for the President's Council, our council, and other members to have a collective meeting with them so that they can move forward in planning the parade. What we want to do is make sure on that Sunday, I believe it's earlier in the morning, afternoon, once we get to public comment, Wanda can jump in and let us know, or if it's in the chat. When it's in the chat, we'll jump back to it. But we want to make sure, are there any council members, I believe we all for outreach would love to be able to be there and definitely support. There's another space that Ms. Bellinez did mention with hospital schools where either she will need our documents, our brochures, our different information that supports District 75 for that hospital. There may be room for one council member to support Ms. Bellinez as she does that work, as it is a hospital and there are certain levels of restrictions. Do we have any level of discussion? Do members want to participate? I know the next day is our Chancellor's Town Hall. We just did move that to the 20th. So we do want to go ahead and flag that that would be the next day as well. Do we have any discussion around the Bronx Parade?
I have a comment. I found the flyer from Bronx Week from Vanessa Gibson's office. Starts at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
It's on Mashua Parkway between Hull Hall Avenue to Van Cortlandt Avenue East. That's where it's going to be at.
Okay. So I know that Co-President Daniels is willing to be a part of this parade. Do we have any other members? Do we want to put this to a vote, or do we just want to have members who are willing to be a part of outreach, who will go ahead and step in and support Co-President Daniels? If not, I'm equally happy if other members are in the same mindset to support Co-President Daniels, giving her the banner and the different items that she may need to make sure that we are voiced and supported along with the Bronx District 75 schools. Do we have any additional feedback or any other members that may want to participate on that Sunday?
I mean, I need to know the exact physical address, but I'm more than likely to be able to participate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Once we get to public comment, we will definitely give the floor to Ms. Bellinez so she can give us a bit more details. Thank you, Councilmember Collins, for being willing to participate.
If just give me a bit more information, I might be able to go this on a Sunday.
Okay, thank you so much. So we'll get that information to you all, and we'll go ahead and put that on the calendar and make sure that we have the banner situated so that you may use that in addition with the march. Also, we have the D75 Joint Committee discussion. We had agreed at one point to work with CCSE, the CELL, and the District 75 President's Council in regard to how we support collectively the District 75 representatives. In that, there's been some different spaces of where communication isn't really flowing as it probably could and or should. And I know I've had a couple of conversations with Co-President Daniels, and we wanted to bring it back to the council to see if this is something that we wanted to continue to collaborate with, or if we want to just have a separate space where we make sure that we as a council support the representatives 1 through 32. Co-President Daniels, did you want to add anything to that?
I think we should have a separate thing with our council to support districts 1 through 32 because of the current situation that we were in. I think that would be more suitable right now for our council and for the D75 reps.
Okay. Do we have any other comment from council members? Co-President Daniels, did you want a motion to take that to a vote?
So what exactly are we motioning?
Well, we motioned originally that we would be committing to work in collaboration with the other councils for District 75 representatives. So would we be making a motion at this point to rescind the council working with these committees to have our own committees singularly to work and support 1 through 32?
Yes, we're gonna have to rescind that past motion.
Okay, so I am hearing that there's a motion to rescind the vote to work with the Joint District 75 Subcommittee. Is there a second for that motion?
Let me just explain to the council. We're only doing this because, there's no collaboration right now with certain individuals. So that's the only reason why I'm rescinding the motion from the past. So I just want to clarify, that's what this is about. And I just think we should do our own thing as council members for districts 1 through 32 at this point. So I'm just asking, basically, who agree, who don't. That's how the vote goes.
Do we have a second for the motion?
A second.
Do we have any debate? Seeing-
Council members, if y'all have a debate or any questions, could y'all please state it now? I mean, I value everyone's opinion.
So does this mean that we work with just districts 1 through 32 or
Yeah, they're District 75.
their district 75 reps? So then who we
This would-
excluding?
This would, okay, we don't want to use the word excluding. Basically, in layman's terms, it was a collective of people. The Citywide Council for Education made a subcommittee so that we could work with them and work with the English language learner councils, in addition to the District 75 President's Council, in order to collectively make sure there was a space and no man was left behind kind of thing for the District 75 reps. Unfortunately, what we have been kind of learning, and hopefully this will not stay the course, we have not really been able to work collaboratively in those spaces. So we are saying, should we stay in this space, or should we just move and keep a space where we have right now for our members? We just had our superintendent support the reps that were available, walk them through roles and representatives. We do have spaces to support them singularly because we are CCD75. So do we want to continue in this particular space where there may be a lapse in collaboration as we try to collaborate, or do we make sure we take care of them on our own as we move forward with the goals that we have for our council?
Thank you. I'm more clear on it. Thank you.
You're more welcome. You're welcome. Does anyone have any other questions or debate about that while we're here? Hearing or seeing none. Ms. Verdejo, may we take this to a vote?
I'm sorry, can you reiterate what the motion is, please?
To rescind the motion to approve the council to be a part of the subcommittee for District 75 representatives.
Okay, Christy Angel,
Yes.
Brisa Arias, Jamaica Collins,
Yes.
okay, Andrea Daniels,
Yes.
Christy Montavon,
Yes.
Shanique Butler,
Yes.
John Herman, and Vanessa Borrero.
Yes.
6 votes for yes, motion passed.
Thank you, council members. While we are here, we did have, just to bounce us back one moment, if I may have the opportunity, for the bylaws discussion, do we want to move that to the bylaws committee in order to go ahead and have a meeting to start the discussion about what it will look like for our District 75 representatives? As of right now, we do not have a chair of that committee, but we can still collectively have a bylaws committee discussion virtually online to start the ball rolling and have a discussion with what this should look like with our supports. Do we want to vote to move this over to the bylaws committee?
I say yes.
Is there a second to move this discussion to the bylaws committee for District 75 representatives 1 through 32?
A second.
Ms. Verdejo, may we take that to a vote?
Sure. Motion is to move the bylaws discussion to the district committee 1 through 32.
To the
Christy
bylaws
Angel.
committee.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Brisa Arias. Jamaica Collins.
Yes.
Andrea Daniels.
Yes.
Christy Montalvan.
Yes.
John Herman. Vanessa Borrero.
Yes.
6 votes for yes, motion passed.
For the sake of time, council members, we can start a thread to see what will make the most suitable time for us to make that bylaws meeting. And we can move on to the next point of discussion, which is the Staten Island Fair discussion. Councilmember Lanza is having another fair, which we did have, or is it Senator? Oh, Lord, correct me if I'm wrong, Christy.
Senator.
Senator is having a fair, and they've asked us, as we have contributed and Christy has given her time and supported before, if we could sign up and show up as the council to have a table and support again. So we want to make sure that everyone on the council is aware that we have a vote, that we're clear that this is something that we want to do so that we can support the members who are able to be in person. Christy, do you have forgive me, the exact dates?
I'm trying to find it now. Sorry.
No worries.
Co-President Angel,
Yes.
I failed to call Shanique Butler at the last motion right now. Do I have to read it again or?
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was just brought to my attention.
Yes.
Apologies, guys. Okay, can we do it now or?
Yes, let's pause and go back and correct.
Okay. The motion is to move the bylaws discussion to the joint committee meetings discussion. Christy Angel.
Well, we will only need to add Ms. Butler.
Oh, so Shanique Butler.
Yes.
6 votes for yes, motion passed.
Thank you so much for making sure that we did keep Ms. Butler's voice in play with us. Where were we on the agenda? We were
May 3rd, Senator Lanzer's fair.
May 3rd, Senator Lanza's fair. Do we have any other members? We can take a little bit of time and do this also backline on email that can stand in support with Council Member Vice President Montalvan. But before I speak too soon, Vice President Montalvan, are you able?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Are there any other members that might be able to support Councilmember Vice President Montalvan for May 3rd for this fair?
What day of the week is that?
I believe it's a Friday,
We know what time?
9:30 to 12:30.
I could try, but I rarely go to Staten Island, but
I
I could
know,
try my best.
it's okay. I understand.
Do we have a motion for the council to participate in the Staten Island Fair with Senator Lanza?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Can we take that to vote, Mrs. Verdejo?
Okay, the motion is to participate in the Staten Island Fair for Senator.
It's Senator Lanza's annual special needs fair.
Thank you.
Senator Landers Annual Special Needs Fair. There we go. Thank you. Christy Angel.
Yes.
Brisa Arias. Jamaica Collins.
Yes.
Andrea Daniels.
Yes.
Christy Montalvan.
Yes.
Shanique Butler,
Yes.
John Herman, and Vanessa Borrero.
Yes.
6 votes for yes, motion passed.
Thank you, council members. I want to also bring up, now that we're going to do May 3rd, May 19th, and there was one other date. Don't kill me because I don't remember it. This means that we have a lot of materials that need to be printed, folded, packed, shipped, sent to support every council member that has said yes.
You talking about the town hall?
Not the town hall's the 20th.
Right, that's the
We
next
have,
day.
the hospital date with Mrs. Belines. We have May 19th with the Bronx Fair, and we now have May 3rd. So with those 3 different items, we're going to need to know, this can happen backline, how many items need to be printed.
What's the hospital one date?
Ms. Belines will have to give us.
Okay, she'll give it to us later.
She'll give us that update for that date.
All right.
But what we want to make sure is that we don't overwhelm our AA as she tries to support us in these outreach efforts, as well as doing her regular job. So again, the office is always open for members to come in, sign in, do help Ms. Verdejo as you will or may. There's other things in the office that you have access to as a council member, but we do want to go ahead and figure out how we may support our AA as she supports us in these outreach efforts. This looks like that brings us to a close for our business agenda. We will call our business agenda closed at 6:49 p.m.
Got it, wrote it down.
We will now move into the CCD75 calendar meeting, and we will call it to order at April 3rd at 6:50 p.m. Helene, may we have a roll call?
Christy Angel,
Present.
Brisa Arias, Jamaica Collins,
Present.
Andrea Daniels,
Present.
Christy Montalban,
Present.
Shanique Butler,
Present.
John Herman, Vanessa Borrero.
Present.
6 votes. We have quorum.
Thank you. Do we have someone that's willing to be a timekeeper to make sure that we are in order and make sure that we keep effective time?
Got it.
Thank you so much, Co-President Daniels. The first thing on the agenda that we would like to speak to is the mayoral control resolution. Our council has had speakers from the ECC come in and speak and help explain our stance in regard to mayoral control. A lot of things have happened recently with the panel for education policy, where a lot of parents have been muted and our voices have been stripped from us, in addition to having security around our fellow parent advocates so that they are muted and stay muted. And that is not what our advocacy should look like. And we are here to present a mayoral control resolution and a few other thoughts behind that for your consideration for vote. With that being said, Co-President Daniels, would you like me to read my piece first, or would you like to read the resolution?
You could do your piece first, and then I'll do the resolution.
Okay, one moment. You guys bear with me. Apologies. I literally had this pulled up, and for some reason, it does not want to be where it should be. One moment. We received an email from multiple PEP members, and I would like to read this with the public. I hope this email finds you well. I want to follow up with you regarding my last email to share how the dynamics of the PEP have continued to shift even further towards the silencing of public and suppression of public discourse. Without going into too much minutia, the March 20th PEP meeting, our budget and SCA 5 capital plan meeting, was abruptly and unilaterally ended by our chair before PEP members were allowed to make general comments. This move was made after members of the public testifying had their microphones cut off at various points during the meeting. Panelists and in the public attendance were angered by this, which led to some shouting, though absolutely no threats were made. Days after and later, the PEP was asked to attend a safety briefing, wherein panelists were told by the Chief of Safety, Mark Rampersant, that going forward, there would be a corps of plainclothes peace officers in the audience and on stage at our meetings. And that is something that, and that should get, in case things should get heated, they have the legal authority to remove and arrest anyone disruptive, including members of the panel. During this briefing, some of the mayor's appointees accused non-mayorals of nefarious, coordinated collusion with members of the public and vocally objected to us engaging with people in the audience. Speaking for myself, this was an overt effort to silence dissent and pressure us into compliance. On March 27th, the PEP held another meeting in the Bronx to vote on some changes to building utilization. There was some discussion at the top of the meeting among the panel whether this meeting constituted a regular versus special meeting because general public had been left off the agenda. This discussion led to a vote among panel about whether or not to let the public as well as panelists speak at the end of the meeting. It should come as no surprise that every single mayoral appointee voted to silence the public. The parents and the advocates of the Bronx made their displeasure known and used their testimonies on school utilization to express their thoughts on these ongoing efforts at suppression of public discourse. They also noted the number of officers in attendance and wondered why so much security was needed. I felt I attended that meeting under duress. I deliberated on whether or not to share this with you, but feel obligated to because this situation has escalated to an abuse of power, in my opinion. I am aware that the New York State Board of Regents report and recommendations on the future of mayoral control has been slightly delayed. I urge you to use this delay as an opportunity and contact your state legislators to affirm your position on mayoral control immediately. Either as a teacher or as a parent volunteer, I've been present in schools since the late 1990s and have never before heard of community members being threatened with arrest for speaking in public forums. It is increasingly clear to me that this mayor will use every tool available, however unethical or dubiously legal, to squash dissent and mute our voices. Your work and advocacy within your communities is too valuable and impactful to let this sort of strong arm tactic go unchecked. Please feel free to share this with your councils and communities as you feel appropriate. And this is something that we do feel appropriate to share. This was signed by multiple members of the panel for educational policy, and we do thank them for standing in the gap as we are still trying to use our voices and fight for our children. With that being said, I am going to screen share the resolution that the council would like to present for vote. One moment. Are you able to see the screen? Co-President Daniels?
I
Yes,
could
we could
see it, but I also have a physical copy in front of me.
Okay.
Okay, so with that being said, now I'm gonna read off our resolution, the resolution for this council. So this is the CCD75 resolution number 10, term 23 through 24 year. Resolution number 010 to oppose mayor control of the New York City Department of Education. Whereas the New York City Department of Education, DOE, is the largest system of public schools in the United States, serving more than 1 million students and over 1,800 schools. One, and whereas mayor control of the New York City Department of Education was granted to Mayor Michael Bloomberg in 2002 and has been renewed several times since then, most recently in 2022 for a 2-year extension. And whereas mayor control of the New York City DOE gives the mayor the power to appoint the school's chancellor and a majority of the members of the Panel for Education Policy, also known as PEP, which governs the city's education system. And whereas mayor control of the DOE has centralized decision-making power in the hands of the mayor, leading to a lack of checks and balances that will otherwise be provided by a democratically elected school board. And whereas this concentration of power has led to concerns over transparency and accountability, with major decisions often made without significant input from families, teachers, administrators, and community stakeholders. And whereas the absence of a broad-based and diverse governing body has resulted in policies that may not reflect the needs and priorities of the various communities that the DOE serves. And whereas mayor control of the New York City DOE has been criticized for being undemocratic, unaccountable, and disconnected from the needs and voices of students, parents, teachers, and communities. And whereas taxpayers are stakeholders who are disenfranchised under mayor control. And whereas mayor control of the New York City DYE is set to expire in 2024, and the state legislature will have to decide whether to renew it, modify it, or replace it with a different governance structure. Therefore, be it resolved that we, the Citywide Council for District 75, call on the state legislature to end mayor control of the New York City DOE and restore democratic and local control of the city's public schools. And be it further resolved that we, the Citywide Council for District 75, demand that the state legislative establish a new governance structure for the New York City DOE that ensures the participation and representation of all stakeholders, including students, parents, teachers, school administrators, and community members. And be it further resolved that we, the Citywide Council for District 75, urge the state legislative to create a new governance structure for the New York City DOE that promotes transparency, accountability, collaboration, and innovation in the city's educational system.
Thank you. With that being said, we have shared this copy of the resolution with the council members. We will bring this back and hopefully have a motion to vote on this after we go into public comment, because we do want to give the public a chance to comment and have their voice be said in addition to what they think in regard to this resolution. Our next space is the annual report, update, and meeting. That's really quickly and brief. The meeting part will have to be on the back end. I'm still waiting to hear from Dr. Burton in regard to what date may work for her in regard to meeting with the annual report committee. So far, we do have a good portion of our data that we were able to research. We are still missing a small portion from the district. We will follow up with them this week to see where we are with that so that we may continue to move forward. However, writing is in progress, so we are in a good space there, and we will definitely let the council know when the next meeting is, because we want to hear your voices to make sure that this is a full representation of the council members who are here. The next space will be our treasury report. Haylene, would you be able to pull up the budget, or?
Sure. You want
Thank
the
you.
budget preferably?
Yeah, just so we can pull the
Okay.
bottom line number out of that.
Okay.
Excuse the snoring in the background. My son is having a good nap right now.
Okay.
Thank you so much. If we can scroll to the very, very bottom for me a little bit so I can make sure I'm not missing any numbers. Okay, so as we can see here, we are set with this budget. This will close out on June 30th. We were able to secure the full $300,000 for our parent involvement for the awards dinner, which we are moving towards that, and we'll have an update shortly within this meeting once we get to that particular bullet point. With the purchase card, after we go through this part of the budget, AA Verdejo should be able to assist us with knowing what the remaining amount is with that, as we've had a little bit of issues with FAMIS in regard to them updating what she's putting into the system. However, she is doing her due diligence to make sure these items are updated. So as of right now, we do have $11,181 that has been spent with our full budget. We have $13,819 left to round us out to 25,000. What we do want to make sure, members, if you have not filled out your reimbursements, if you need any assistance, thank you to those members who have been putting in your reimbursements and going through the process. If there are any other members, if we can go ahead and start getting all of the backdated items into our AA Verdejo, that would be great. At the end of the year, it gets really difficult to close out the budget. So if we can make an attempt to pull everyone forward by April 30th, so that it makes it a little bit easier for Haleen as she moves forward to close out our budget. Haleen, what is the balance on the P card?
So the balance when we last checked for the last meeting was 1,680. However, there have been debits for the website as well as the MailChimp. So it hasn't reflected, but I can send it out tomorrow if need be.
Okay, would that be like an additional $80 that might be gone?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, so council members, we will on tomorrow go ahead and bring a little bit more clarity about the exact dollar amount that's gone to MailChimp. I think that's about $47, and then the Wix is about $36, but just to keep transparency, we will make sure to let the council members know what the exact line number and item is for the P card. Thank you, Haleen. We can move on to our next item now. With that being said, we are now into our superintendent updates. Is Superintendent Kettler present, or do we have his deputy representatives who will be speaking tonight? I see Mr. Velez is present and Ms. Ortega. Do we have any updates from the district, or Dr. Hogard or?
Hi, Christy, it's Nora. Yes, Dr.
Nora.
How are you? Dr. Hoggard is on. I think he just was unmuted himself.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nora. Thank you so much. How you doing, Co-President Christy Daniels? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
President Daniels, hope everybody's doing great. Oh, 1 second. I'm just trying to get myself together with the computer. 1 second.
No problem.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Guys, always great to be in a space with everybody. It's good to see everybody. I have on Kettler's behalf, I'm going to just share some brief updates. So I'll start with our STEM fair on March 20th. We held our 8th annual STEM fair, which marked an outstanding and unforgettable day. We had students and staff from over 55 District 75 schools come together to celebrate this culmination of months of hard work. We did this STEM fair at the American Museum of Natural History, and as a district, as a community, I just want to say that we are thrilled to share the overwhelming success of the event, which would not have happened. It would not have been possible without the work of our students and staff across all of our schools. It was an amazing day. I mean, our students, our staff members, they came, they showed up, they showed out. It was an amazing event. And we also, we took video footage of the event, so we'll be sure to share soon. with you all so that you could take part. If you didn't show up, if you weren't able to get there, we'll definitely make sure that that's accessible and available for you so you'll be able to see. I mean, it was an amazing event. I mean, we're still talking about it to this day. You know, as we visit schools, the students that attended, staff members that attended are still talking about it. And we'll be sure to share pics. We uploaded some pics on our D75 Instagram page. So if you have time, if you have a minute to just take a look, to view some of the pictures, please do so. Tomorrow, April 4th, we have our D75 poetry event. Our poetry event will take place at Baruch College. And at the event, we'll have students from across D75. Students will be there. They'll share some poems. They'll recite some of their poetry. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be an amazing event. And our students, staff, they're excited to be in the space tomorrow. And P17X, I'm excited to share that Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson and Majority Leader Amanda Farias, they're going to hold a ceremonial check presentation in the amount of $750,000 this Friday. That's going to be awarded to P17X. The purpose of the grant is to build a state-of-the-art life skills room. This space will provide our students with a true-to-life area simulating an apartment or a home that will assist students with real-life experiences while they learn independent living skills. The plan is once they get the check, the reward this week, the plan is that we're hoping by next year or the year after that the space is actually in place and in existence for our students. And it's going to be a great space. I mean, you know, once it's up and running, we'll definitely send out an invite. I'm sure the principal would love for everybody to come see it, come experience the space. It's going to be a great space and a great opportunity for our students. And again, today updates were really brief. At this time, I'm going to pass it over to our Deputy Superintendent, Shelley Kleinberg. Is Shelley on?
I am here.
There you go.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I too am always so very glad to be able to share space with all of you. I'm going to continue with some updates from our curriculum and instruction department by way of some literacy building tips for your students as we continue along with the rest of the city to implement New York City Reads across District 75. One of the tips that our literacy department wanted is making sure that we are always keeping students aware of print concepts with every opportunity that we have. So ask your child and it's across all different venues to show you when they have access to the book, the front of the book, the title of the book, where you should begin the reading, how to identify letters and words, the first word of a sentence, the last word of a sentence. We want to make sure that our students are getting access to understanding how pages are turned in a book from left to right, how to utilize punctuation marks to identify capital and lowercase letters, etc. So anytime they have access to a book, we encourage you to work with them on some of those skills. To continue to build fluency as you read with your children, we want them to have ongoing opportunities to practice hearing fluent reading and engaging in fluent reading. So any ways that you at home, as we continue to do in school, can model fluent reading when reading books aloud to students. We encourage that to happen as often as possible. And we also encourage repeated readings, reading the same text multiple times. We know how much we enjoy familiarity with text, and our students and our children do as well, and this supports building fluency. And we also encourage you to practice reading different types of texts with your students, including poems, rhymes, and songs, as well as books with fluency. And that being said, I do want to take this opportunity, if you will indulge me, since it is April, which is Poetry Month, to read to you a brief poem in the spirit of the month. And this will be a precursor to the types of student-inspired work that will be happening at tomorrow's poetry event that was mentioned by Dr. Hoggard. I Met a Dragon Face to Face, a poem by Jack Prelutsky. I met a dragon face to face the year when I was 10. I took a trip to outer space. I braved a pirate's den. I wrestled with a wicked troll and fought a great white shark. I trailed a rabbit down a hole. I hunted for a snark. I stowed aboard a submarine. I opened magic doors. I traveled in a time machine and searched for dinosaurs. I climbed atop a giant's head. I found a pot of gold. I did all this in books I read when I was 10 years old. Again, a poem by Jack Prelutsky. The power of poetry is so very strong in helping us to channel memories, emotions, feelings. And so this is just one example of the many ways that we can channel some of the excitement of reading and building literacy with our students. So I will continue in future meetings to share more literacy building tips for you to engage with your students at home that mirror the strategies that our educators are using in school. So happy Poetry Month to you all. In terms of other announcements, we do have some reminders from our arts department of upcoming events. The District 75 Film Festival that was designed to support student achievement in communication, socialization, reading, creative writing, and film proficiency is increasing opportunities for students to express themselves. This year's festival is entitled Remix a Story or Reenact Your Favorite Book. The film festival will take place on May 7th at the MoMA Theater. MoMA has generously donated the theater as well as consistently it gives a space for student field trips to the museum. MoMA has worked with District 75 Arts to design trips that focus specifically in alignment with the film festival on the artistry of films and film productions. This year, 22 films were submitted to the festival and 10 will be showcased at the District 75 Film Festival. So we hope to see you there on May 7th. It is the final weekend upcoming this Saturday and Sunday of Art 75, District 75's annual student art exhibition, which as we have mentioned in previous meetings is designed to showcase student talent and voice. This year, there were 278 pieces of student artwork submitted and 60 pieces of art are beautifully displayed in an exhibit at the Positive Exposure Gallery. The partnership that we have with Positive Exposure promotes global awareness and supports for students with disabilities and gives opportunities to share their talents and creativity and self-expression with the local community. If you have not had a chance to visit this amazing exhibit, it is on display through April 8th at the Positive Exposure Gallery. Hours Monday through Friday are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So we do hope that you'll have a chance to see these beautiful exhibits. We also have an announcement from the Superintendent Student Advisory Council. Representatives from the Advisory Council are elected leaders from high schools across District 75. Every year, we truly enjoy the opportunity to elevate student voices by giving them a space to listen to their peers and advocating to make positive change in their school communities. This gives them a chance to learn more about civic activism and advocacy. They have engaged in field research this year at 2 museums dedicated to their work. One is the poster house. They took a trip to the poster house, which focused on civic engagement and activism, to view the exhibit We Tried to Warn You, which looks at activism posters from the 1970s through today. The students had a chance to learn related vocabulary to civics and activism, and engaged in discussions about how to advocate for themselves, display and depict a message, and how to speak and present that message. Also, through the Museum of the City of New York, students had a chance to focus on advocacy and disability rights by viewing an exhibition entitled An Accessible City for All, detailing disability rights in New York from 1968 to 2017. Students have had an opportunity through this experience to learn key vocabulary and discuss disability rights and activism from across the city, and to really reflect on the disability rights movement over time. We are looking forward to the students creating their own posters to advocate and show their civics, their civic expression and advocacy. And this culminating experience will take place for our students on June 5th. So we look forward to hearing from our student advocates, and we'll continue to share more about the work that they are doing in this project. I am now going to turn the mic over to our family engagement team. Nora or Ray, are you able to put yourself on mic?
Thank you, Shelley, so much. Good evening, families. Thank you for having me here, sharing your space. I just want to take, before I start reading about our family engagement updates, I just want to take this moment to acknowledge that April is Autism Acceptance Month. And from the district, on behalf of the district, we just want to share that, our students are thought about, and, sharing autism acceptance as a thought and a process, in accepting our students' abilities, our challenges, and being in the same space to share that is a very important and special thing for us to acknowledge together as a collective. So thank you. Regarding family engagement updates, I want to share on that note of autism acceptance. One of the events that we are doing, and we're really excited to share this, is that in collaboration with FACE and Teatro Sea, on April 19th, there is an opportunity for Bronx schools, K-8 classes, and Upper Manhattan schools to participate and to view a sensory-friendly showing of Ricitos and the Three Bears. The performance is going to be sensory friendly, so they're going to lower the lights. The sound isn't going to be as loud. They're going to take breaks, and there's going to be a special quiet room for any student who may need some extra time. And we're really excited about this opportunity for our students. We're going to have about 800 to 1,000 students be able to participate. NICSA. And NICSA, it continues to be part of our family engagement updates because it's an initiative. It's an initiative of ours to ensure that all of our families are connected. The New York City Schools account. If you don't know what a New York City Schools account, or if you don't have a New York City Schools account, please ensure that you reach out to your parent coordinator, so that way you can retrieve the necessary account creation code. Without this code, you can't open up this account. Without this account, you cannot utilize the VIA OPT VIA bus app. We have shared, during meetings before that, many parents have shared that it's, may not work for them, or it's not perfect. But at this time, consider that if this is the progress, if this is the motion, NICSA is going to be important. New York City Public Schools will require you to have the New York City Schools account for additional things. And that being considered, this VIA app, you need the NICSA in order to be able to utilize this VIA app to track your child's busing. If you have any questions regarding this VIA app or the New York City Schools account, please don't hesitate to reach out to your school and to your school parent coordinator. In collaboration with MBK, My Brother's Keeper, District 75 will be hosting a father's group and a mother's group on April 13th. This session will be in person at the district office. So this session, this parent peer group is running in conjunction with the MBK program, which is is an opportunity for several of our students across several of our schools to have financial literacy programs. And at the same time, we're giving the mothers and the fathers who attend this meeting an opportunity to come together in community, to share resources and to make connections. Again, thinking about April and Autism Acceptance Date month, we have Jesse Mojica, the Deputy Executive Director of FACE, who will be in attendance on April 13th. And he's going to share his journey as a father to Adam, who is autistic, and to give, to share resources and thoughts and his story. And we're really excited to welcome him as a district to District 75. We have subsequent groups. The additional dates include May 4th and June 1st. In collaboration with Include NYC and MBK, My Brother's Keeper, District 75 will be hosting 2 virtual workshops for families. One of them includes the top 5 rights in special education, and that is on April 4th from 10 to 11 a.m., tomorrow actually, and Introduction to Transition Planning on April 8th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. These are both virtual workshops. There's definitely space is not limited, so if you haven't registered, please reach out to your school's parent coordinator and ask for the links. And I can also put the links in the chat. We're really excited to share that we spent some time planning this support to our CEC District 1 through 32, District 75 reps. And as such, we came together as a district team to provide on March 26th, this past March 26th, an information session. At this information session, the superintendent's team provided information, connections, email addresses, and really a contact so that way if there are any questions, if there's any way that we can support our CEC 1 through 32 District 75 representatives, they know who to connect with. And we were really excited to have the co-presidents, the CCD75 representatives at this session to share their thoughts and their story. So thank you both for attending, Christy and Andrea. On May 11th, we have a few, actually 2 different events. And the first one is considering District 75 Reads, the first ever bookmobile event, which is going to be open for Queens and Brooklyn families. And it'll be located at 75Q. More information to follow. Registration, flyers, all of this is coming. On the same date for our Bronx and Manhattan families and Staten Island, there is a collaboration between Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson and District 75 hosting a field day. And again, more information to follow, links, flyers, and so on. And this is for the families of District 75 Bronx families. That would be it. Family engagement updates that for now, more to follow next month, and we'll keep you posted with links and registration and flyers so that way you and families can attend. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much to the district and for their updates to the council. Do we have any further updates from the district? If not, we will move forward with our agenda, and we do thank you so kindly for being present and for your support.
Co-President Angel, I just want to real quick, before we sign off, I just want to shout out Wanda for her support and help with the $750,000 grant at 17X for the participatory budgeting. So I just want to make sure I shout her out and then just say thank you, Wanda. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Wanda. Wanda has done
We didn't need to do that at all.
You know what? It's only right. I wanted to acknowledge you. It's only right. Thank you for doing what you did over there. You were a big part in making sure that they secured that money. And I just wanted to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you so very much, sir. I was not expecting that, so I'm very impressed right now.
Well, we do thank you, Wanda. We're going to move into our
You're muted. You're on mute.
And I'm talking to myself. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and move on. Thank you to our next item. Superintendent Louison, did you want to say any words before we moved forward?
Look, I sat here quietly listening with really pride to our deputies, Dr. Haggard and Ms. Kleinberg, and I think they provided you with really some good relevant information about the work that is going on across the district. I don't think I would shine them any day or tonight with anything I'm gonna have to say or add. I know you want to continue with the agenda. I will just stop here and thank each and every one of you that are here tonight to support not only the council, but to really engage with us in the work we are doing with your children. Please continue to do so. As I always say before, we are here to work in collaboration and in partnership with you. You have our numbers, you have our email. Please never hesitate to reach out. We're here to serve you. And please, let's continue to do this work together. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Louison. As I jump into the co-president updates, I'll just say, as we're here, thank you to the district for giving of themselves and being resourceful to our new people and representatives that are in these spaces who need to see faces and names and know where to connect and how to connect. And you guys really went beyond the mark in giving them information and connecting. And so we're very grateful for that. And we are grateful for knowing that that will be something that will move forward in some capacity regularly to continue the support. Also, for our council members, forgive the delay, the annual report surveys will be going out this week in order to make sure we have a few weeks of updates in regard from our different parents to support the writer in the different subsections where the information can be supported. Also, we want to make sure that everyone still remembers Monday, May 20th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. That is our new town hall date with the chancellor. That will be at PS 94M, PS 397 at 12 Spruce Street. So we do want you guys to sign up for that. And as well, if you have any questions that you want submitted to the chancellor, please do make sure that you submit that to the council at d75council@schools.nyc.gov. As you have heard, Saturday, April 13th, the district is having a a support system for our District 75 parents and things of that nature. And in support with that, we will be moving our Parent Empowerment Conference. That's a conversation that we'll have for the committee and for the council, as we will figure out how to shift that to make sure that we do continue the work and support for our different family members.
So you said Devon.
If we could please mute Miss
Gina.
Okay.
Yeah, can you send that I work with one?
All right, thank you so very much. The next aspect that we wanted to go into, we just had a legislative breakfast on March 22nd. And I would be remiss if I did not say thank you, a huge thank you to our council members, AA, Haleen Verdejo. Thank you for your time. I know behind the scenes, you were scrambling with me, getting a lot of different things done, a lot of different things printed, waking up, going early, going to bed late. And we appreciate your time and your effort in supporting the council. Thank you, council member and secretary and chair of the legislative committee, Ms. Butler. We do thank you for your contributions, for emceeing the event and making sure that everything went according to plan in absence of council members and with everyone there that was supporting. Co-President Daniels, thank you for showing up. Thank you for making sure that registration was situated, that our interpretation along with Ms. Vanessa Barrero was okay and things moved accordance. And Vice President Montalvan, I'm giving all my thank yous. Thank you for the phone calls, for showing up and for doing all the different pieces. It was great being able to work as a team and being able to try to push things forward. And hopefully we can continue to build and do even bigger and better things. So I want to say thank you to all, and especially Ms. Barrera, because we do have a new District 75 representative on CCSE who is only Spanish speaking. And luckily this year, we do have 2 members who are bilingual, and they were able to stand in support of another parent advocate on CCSE. So we thank you expressly for you being willing and to help another advocate parent.
Let's also thank Council Member Jamaica Collins too.
Oh my Lord, Miss Collins, thank you for jumping. No, she jumped in. You really jumped in and you did one of the speeches for us and handled one of the sections, and you were not even on the list, and you were like, I'm here, what do you need? And we appreciate your heart for being able to show up and being willing to just step forward when called and pulled into the task. So thank you for your heart, and thank you for participating and for being of service with the council. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Co-President Daniels. If I've missed anybody else, trust me, thank you. And we will make sure that we give you that the thank you that we have out there for you. I do want to say, as they mentioned with Autism Acceptance Month, we were working on the Office of Autism coming to our meeting this month. Unfortunately, they were unable to come, but that does not mean they will not be here next month. So the central team of autism, they've been working very closely with the coaches and teams in Nest and Horizon, and in addition to the AIMS program, which includes District 75. So they will be coming to give us updates, and any questions that we have, they'll be able to answer those. Michelle Netzler, who is the Senior Executive Director of Specialized Instruction, will be able to support and let you know what kind of communications and things are going on with the office as well. On March 27th, and I think everybody might have missed this, and I'm not sure how, with the PEP meeting, the Bronx showed up and showed out. So from District 75, our council, we want to say thank you. To the district, we want to say thank you. We know that you guys show up to these PEP meetings, but the Bronx would not be silenced. The Bronx showed up, showed out, and made sure that our children and our families had a voice. And with that being said, there were 2 approvals. If I'm missing one, someone jump in. The approval for opening the co-location of P754 at X884, the new site, which is an existing District 75 school, at PSX 754 at JM Report School Career Development with the School of Social Justice and Health Opportunities. Also, the proposed opening and co-location of P643X at X496, a new site for District 75 schools, PSX 643 with PS 163, Arthur A. Schoenberg. I just want to say thank you. It was amazing to watch the collaboration and the voices and the unity, and I am proud to be a part of this district, and I applaud you guys. And I thank you for the work that you are doing dearly and sincerely. And that will wrap up my updates for the co-president. And I will hand it over to Co-President Daniels.
Good evening, everyone. So my update is for DLT, there's gonna be a meeting. We're gonna get ready to do the applications for the Samuel Stern Awards. We're gonna be going over the applications for the students who was submitted for the Samuel Stern. That will be coming up on May 21st, the event. But we got to do the selection process of the students, which is always hard. I've been doing this for years. Actually, trying to gather all the applications and trying to decide who should get what, because really you want to give it to all of them, but you only could give a certain amount of people. I believe it's 12 out of however many applications come through. You only could give like only 12 students, I believe it is, the Samuel Stern Awards. So we're gonna be going through that. I believe it's next week, I was told. Next Thursday. So of course that's a lot of work, but this is something I've been doing every year on DLT. It's just the most difficult thing, to try to select what students as a collective group you feel should get the Samuel Stern Award. It's always real sensitive, a sensitive topic and subject. Tomorrow, District 75 mentioned the event tomorrow, the poetry event at Peruge College. I was invited to attend on behalf of our council because it's in person. I also was invited to attend, hold on, something else for tomorrow as well. My day is going to be crazy. Something that the ECC is doing. Hold on a second, let me just get it up. So they doing like a meeting, a community education council meet and greet with the urban assembly. It says it cordially invites the community education councils to a meet and greet at the urban assembly headquarters. So it's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow. You have to register. I think you got to like tonight to register. I don't know if it's closed already. I'm not sure. But it's at 90 Broad Street in Manhattan, New York. And I got to try my best to attend that tomorrow. So that's 2 events I have to try to attend. And then Friday, which I just found, well, I've been told Co-President Christy Angel that me and Christy Angel was invited to go to the legislative breakfast for CCHS, who is also having their meeting tonight, but at Tweed at the same time as us right now. They're having a legislative breakfast Friday, that me and Co-President Christy Angel was invited to. Since it's in person, I have to go. I just found out last week that not only I'm going to be an attendee, but I'm going to be honored at the legislative breakfast. Did not know that was going to happen. Just found that part out last week. So that was a shocker, but I'm happy about it. But I couldn't do it all without my parents, my students, my council members. My co-president has been wonderful. All my council members have been pretty much wonderful. And my AA is remarkable. I think we're one of the very few councils that have a good AA. I can acknowledge that from all the CEC presidents I spoke to. We don't have that problem here. So that's basically the updates on the events I have to go to on behalf of the council. Then Saturday, my school is having P811X at the main site at 1434 Longfellow Avenue. It's usually open to all schools to go. They doing a family game day from like 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So I'll be going to that on behalf of my daughter and my school. All of us in my house is going, all 4 of us. And then, unfortunately, I have a celebration of life to go to because I just had a death in my family a couple of weeks ago. So that wraps up my week. And we just gonna move forward with the rest of the work we need to do. We all got things to do in life, but we have to hold this council together. I will not allow us to be excluded from anything. Neither will Christy Angel, Co-President Christy Angel. We will not allow anyone to shut our voice. Not in this council. And I think all of you council members would agree with me that we will not let that happen. We will continue advocating for our kids in District 75, our students, do what we have to do, and that's it. And we all have our struggles, Sometimes we don't make quorum, but lately we've been making quorum, so now we rolling. This is what I like. This is what I love. And I'm grateful for all my council members. To me, you guys are more than just council members, but that's a little personal. I'll end it right there. And we're going to probably go to committee reports next.
We appreciate you, Co-President Daniels. Thank you for your sentiments, because we feel the exact same way about you. And we're going to go ahead and move forward to Chair Butler. We want to give you the floor to be able to add any updates or any insight that you'd like to give for the Legislative Committee and the Legislative Breakfast. The floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to say thank you for all who came out to the legislation breakfast. And I also want to say thank you to all my council members. I am on this committee. Right now I'm alone, but my fellow council members has been my support. So right now I'm going to get the ball rolling. I have been sending out emails. I am visiting my local city council members' office and let them know that we want to be seen and we want to be heard, and they need to take in consideration our kids. So that's what I've been doing. I've been just sending them our agendas and letting them know what we want for our kids. So anybody who wants to assist me, I'm more than welcome to accept anybody help when it comes to these legislations. All right. Thank you so much. Have a nice
Thank you
day.
so much, Chair Butler. We do want to encourage any parent members. You do not have to be a member of the Citywide Council for District 75 to join any of our committees. We would love to have you be a part of anything that you would like to be a part of, be it outreach, legislation, busing, safety, wherever you want to be able to have a voice and have some input. We do want to have a consideration for you to be a part of that. So thank you. The next section we will pass this over to is Council Members Vanessa Barrero and Co-President Daniels to give a busing update.
So we had a recent busing meeting, I believe it was last week, if I'm correct. It was in regards to the what's the name of that app? The VIA app. A lot of people had concerns about that app. They wasn't able to log on, or they wasn't seeing the busing information and things like that. And I spoke a lot tonight, so I'm going to let co-chair Vanessa Barrero speak at this point in regards to busing, what happened at that meeting.
Good evening, everybody. We had a meeting on, I believe it was last week, Friday. We did a presentation on the VIA app. There is a lot of concerns about the dependability of the app and the app not working. So we're going to try to work our best magic with the parents on assisting them with busing issues, and hopefully OPT can assist us as well. And hopefully we can do it was a very successful meeting, but we would like more results in terms of everybody's issues. So we'll be working on that going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We will announce the next upcoming meeting date after me and Vanessa collaborate a little more offline. Then we announce the next meeting date. The next committee is outreach.
Thank you. I'll be brief since I said a little bit about the Parent Empowerment Conference, which I'll be sending some information out. We'll have another outreach meeting just to flesh some things out before we bring it back to the council. We have been working behind the scenes, the RAA, Verdejo, and myself, in regard to trying to move forward with planning the awards dinner in June to make sure that we can have our list for who we're going to honor, who we're going to nominate, making sure we have the decorations, everything that's in place that we will need financially that will come from our purchasing card. And we'll make sure to keep the council up to date in those factors. Those would be the only updates I have in regard to the outreach committee. So the next space that we'll go ahead and move into is public comment, but we want to go ahead and give the floor first to Ryan Mael, who did sign up for a 2-minute comment discussion. He wanted to speak about a new app called Turbobo, which is I think it's a plushie that helps with anxiety with children and special needs, and he would be able to flesh that out a little bit more. Is Ryan still in attendance?
Yep, right here.
Perfect. You have the floor, Ryan. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invitation. So, so my name is Ryan Mealy. I'm a current student at Brown University, and I want to share this resource I created for schools for general ed as well as special needs classrooms, designed to reduce anxiety, improve student output in their work, and make the teacher's job that much easier. So here's Turbobo in the flesh. It might be hard on the camera, but Turbobo is an anxiety-reducing stuffed animal device with 5 main features that makes it unique. The first of which is it weighs about 5 pounds. It has a fidget tail with porous beads in it. It has a half-moon Velcro piece for another tactile. And not sure if you can see, but both ears have these hidden zipper pockets where you get a removable heatable gel pack that's also a squishy sensation if no access to that. And the other one has an aromatherapy insert for the other ear as well. So you're sort of putting 5 main features into an adorable stuffed animal designed to improve the child's sort of experience in the classroom, as well as make the teacher's job easier. One quick statement around it is this has been implemented in districts around our tri-state area. Now, most recently is District 5. They've undergone a large district-wide sort of incorporation of it within their schools. And apart from that is a study we launched about 3 months ago. That was a duration of 3 months. That had 150 participants across 5 school districts in our tri-state area. These range from classroom teachers, sensory room officers, school counselors, social workers, and all these sort of participants had Turbobo for 3 months to pilot in their own sort of environments. And from that, the data yielded that of the 150 participants, 90% of teachers said their jobs were made greatly easier. From that, 40% said the teachers noticed a slight improvement in quality of student work. 30% said somewhat improvement, and the other 30% said absolutely major improvement in student output of work. And then another question was, how would you rate Turbo's impact on the classroom? And 98% said positive, with 2% saying neutral. So for a participant study of that size, the results are astounding, in which not one person did not want Turbobo in their classroom. Not one teacher said they didn't notice at least a tiny impact on the quality of work, and not one teacher said their job wasn't made easier. So it's really incredible the impact of it. And something I want to offer your District 75 schools community is a free 3-week pilot program of Turbobo within all of your schools. So you're not taking my word for it. So your schools can see the impacts of Turbobo on your students and teachers firsthand at no cost for a 3-week period. You get about 20 units to use across grade levels, pre-K to 5th for is sort of the sweet spot, but can be used through 12th grade as well. And I'd love the opportunity to sort of connect with other members of this district at another date to sort of discuss it further, as well as present in front of principals to see who might want to take advantage of this free pilot for it. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to put my contact info in the chat as well, but thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you so much. I've also taken the opportunity to forward your information and the email that you sent to the council that gave a few links and different information of that sort to the community outreach for the district. Sacha, Nora, Ray, be on the lookout. We have forwarded Ryan's message, and hopefully this may be something that we could possibly look into if you see fit. To pilot to see how some of our children might possibly respond. And parents, if this is something that you want to look into, please feel free to email Ryan. We always want to be able to have new resources and options for our children. Again, thank you, Ryan, so much for joining us and for bringing this to our attention so that we may share it with our district and communities.
Yeah, last thing is just for the community. There's also a discount for you guys as well. All caps district space 75 for at home in case any parents wanted to look into it that way. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll make sure to stay in touch with you so we can make sure to keep this as a resource for our parents as well.
President Christy Angel, I
ma'am.
just realized, did we even ask the interpreter rooms anything? We've
We're
been
now
talking
moving
to
into
me.
public. Yes, we're now moving
Okay.
into public comment. And now we are able to join into all three of our interpreters. We can
Okay.
start with the Spanish
Cool,
room
cool.
to see if there are any questions and or comments or public comment.
No questions on the Spanish line.
Thank you. For Bengali, do we have any questions or comments on that line?
Until now, no comment yet.
Thank you. And for our Mandarin line, do we have any questions and or comments?
No question, no comments either from Mandarin.
Thank
No.
you so much. I do see Dr. 3 from CEC3. You have the floor.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for this meeting and the opportunity to listen. Council of District 75 parents, I would like to say hello for every members, and we're very welcome in District 3 because we don't have these 75 members in District 3. So please consider to just announce this information and provide us with the members. And of course, thank you for the resolution. I'm very curious what happened when the end of mayoral control happened. And well, we don't know what will be, but I'm very curious what happened and who will be in charge then. So, thank you so much.
I'll be honest, Dr. D, just speaking for myself, we don't know what happens next. What we're asking for is some level of accountability, a different level of some kind of commission that is different from what is happening now, that will still be in some level of a support of parent voices, because parents being muted and not being included in the spaces that we were elected to be in is not acceptable. So we don't know what the plan is, but we do know we want to be a part of that plan, and that it's something that allows equity for our parent voices who are currently fighting for our children and giving up time as volunteers and elected officials in these spaces to make sure that our children get what they need. So we want to make sure there's a bit of levity as we move forward so that we're not excluded, as we've seen even recently where people have felt that they can just turn mics off, adjourn meetings, and move outside of bylaws, regulations, and better. So we want to make sure that we fight for our rights to advocate for our children in a correct capacity, and that legislators kind of hold people's feet to the fire to support us. But hopefully, as we move along, we will continue to give you guys updates of different things that we're finding out that may be in support of what we're trying to do with our resolution currently.
Just for the records, of course, personally fully support this.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Are there any other? Oh, yes, Maria Rodriguez, you have the floor.
Yes, good evening. I was just asking if there were any updates on the summer rising for the District 75 students. I had spoken at the last meeting. Was inquiring with superintendent if there's been any updates, please.
Do we have anyone from the district that may be able to provide an answer for that?
Update as to what nature? The application, as you know, and I can pass it on to, the parent engagement team here. The applications are, all the application process is open for parent to apply. So that's where we are. Nora, do you want to share a little bit more? I know Minnie is here
Yes.
as well.
So yes, Minnie can share some updates as well, but right at this moment, the window for summarizing the application process, it has closed, but I was informed that there may be an opportunity for waiting lists. So even though it has closed, do not be as so concerned, in that perhaps there may be the opportunity for you to select the program. There may be an opportunity for a waiting list. So I'll have Minnie can share any updates.
That wasn't my question
Oh.
though. Mrs. Montalvan, who's a council member, is from the same school I'm from, and I know she was also trying to work on this in Staten Island. This year they were only giving us CBO choices, not a District 70. Last year our children had the opportunity to go to a District 75 site for summarizing, where the people were specially trained to work with children such as our children. Our children wouldn't be appropriate or safe necessarily to go to a CBO. So I think I was looking for an update. If you have had any, you said you were going to speak to the central last month. Sir, you said you were going to speak to the central office,
Yes.
that it was out of your hands. So I was actually
Yes.
looking for an update on that.
Okay,
Hi, this
so
is Minnie.
the update is the following. Sorry, Nora, I'll pass it back to you. The reason why we had those hub sites in District 75 before was that we had the staff available to do so. We no longer have staff that are willing to work after school in the summer. So that made it a little bit difficult for us to run those sites because we cannot force anybody to take them on. Last year, we end up, the last time we had the District 75 hub, we could not even exhaust our budget, the budget that was dedicated to those hubs, because most of them did not have District 75 students coming to them. So the way they work is that the site was at a particular school, and it was mostly the student of that school that really went to those hubs. So let's say your hub on Staten Island was at 37R. It was mostly students from 37R going to it, not necessarily 373K, 373R, 721R, or 25R. So that really limited the access for everybody. So parents did prefer to drop their children to those CBO sites that were closest to their house. That's why the decision was made that, it doesn't help, or it's not productive to open those sites because there was really very low enrollment in those sites. So that's why we do not have them this year.
And we did bring this to this is Minnie. So I work with Patricia, who's been working very closely with the Office for Summarizing. And we did bring your concerns to them. Unfortunately, we don't have an update on this. They did not provide any new sites for us.
Thank you for the update. I think we will have to forego the program. Unfortunately, it was wonderful last year, but of course, as a parent, have to keep my child safe. So I realize it's usually they're looking for the masses, not for the minority. So, I think that's unfortunately probably what it is. The funding, they're going to go. I understand completely what you're saying. Thank you for your update, though. I appreciate it.
Of course. And I'm
We have
really
two
sorry
hands up.
about that. I know this is probably an inconvenience to you and to your school community as well. So
Three hands.
we are really sorry.
And we'll make sure that your voice is heard, and we let them know, this is something that you wish to have. So maybe next year, let's see what they can do.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you all. Since we did mention Vice President Montalvan, we want to go ahead and give you the floor as a council member to speak. You may unmute.
Hi, thank you. Sorry, I'm not able to turn my camera on. I'm dealing with some flooding in Staten Island, but I just really I hear what everyone's saying, but I just have to go on the record and say it's not good enough. Like what happened this year, it's basically not including our children in the summer rising program. They have decided to have a summer rising program for all students and basically exclude District 75. Yeah, we're welcome to apply, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to be trained and be able to handle our children. So by not having summer rising clubs, we're not including our District 75 students. And that's what really needs to be said. What's not being said, we're skirting kind of around that. That's all I have to say on it.
Thank you, Vice President Montalban. I see that Ms. Cummings, Joanne Cummings, you have the floor.
Hi, good evening. I'm sorry, I can't multitask. I'm on 2 Zooms. I just want to say I'm from CEC29. I'm the president of CEC29. And I do a lot of advocate, and I'm ready for D75, and I'm looking forward to partnership and y'all coming into the district, and we looking forward to the high school that should be coming in September. I just want to say that it's very alarming that if a district does not have a D75 rep, that they still don't reach out to at least the president or someone, or even the IEP rep in regards to working with you guys to build a rapport, because I didn't even know it was a meeting. And I do a lot of multitasking and meeting on that level with D75 in my district. And I've been holding down the schools, and we just opened up a nest, a AIM in Horizon this school term. And I didn't even know that it was a meeting with the fellow D75 in the community from districts 1 through 32. And it wasn't even mentioned in the chat. So I'm like, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't even know about that. So communication really needs to get better, because if we're going to work together as a team, it should be put out there so everyone will know what's going on, not people hearing secondhand after the fact. That's the only way it's going to get better, because we have to work together as a team so we can be together for our babies. This is a partnership.
Thank you so much for that feedback, Ms. Cummings. We definitely do want to make sure that we keep in touch with our CECs 1 through 32. I will say our AA does make sure to keep our communication as far with the 132 for regular communication. We do have you guys on our mailing list. However, I hear you that you want to be more involved. We do have a few other presidents who are involved. And so what we can commit to is going back to the list of our D75 representatives and looking for that absent space. Who does not have a representative? Let's make sure to focus on them. What we recently did was we went through the list of the representatives that we did have, and we brought them forward in basically making sure that they knew what to do with onboarding. But listening to you, we realized we missed a space, and we can commit to doing better and reaching out to you guys and making sure that we collaborate and maintain a partnership that we know you guys want and we guys want as well. So we will be reaching out to you, Ms. Cummings, shortly to make sure that you stay in the loop with us and we keep you supported. And we do thank you for the work that you are doing on behalf of the District 75 community.
No, thank you. I truly appreciate it, because Ms. Daniels will tell you I'm very out there. I'm very committed, and I'm not one of those that's just talking. If you need me, I'm there. Like I said, I'm ready for next week for the PEP, because I'm ready to advocate for the school. I'm there for you guys, anything. So I'm looking forward to this, and I'm already on Rebecca, looking to see how many more high schools I can get in Queens, because this is so much needed, long overdue. So I'm there for you guys.
Please make sure to reach out to us, D75 Council at schools.nyc.gov, and we can make sure we link and build off of this, so it's not just a conversation that just happened on today.
No problem. I got you. Thank you.
Thank you too. We have former council member Constance Asiadu. Welcome back. You have the floor.
Oh, the question is can you hear me first of all?
Yes,
Clearly?
ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. The question is for Superintendent Louisant. I just wanted to ask, since PEP has now approved a new high school in Queens for D75 and other co-locations, what is on the drawing board for the future as far as, can you share with us where they plan to open more D75 locations and schools at this moment, district and borough, if it's possible?
Thank you, Ms. Asidio. This is a very good question. Let me just say, on the enrollment office, they do what we call space projection, and every year around, I don't want to provide the wrong month, but I would say around like November, they start doing space projection to know how many seat District 75 students will need in certain communities or in certain districts. So the enrollment office works in collaboration with space planning and district planning to allocate space for District 75. So they canvass the whole city, they do assessment in all schools to see where they have, let's say, residual space that is not being used. And so that's how we do space projection. Now, when it's come to high school, they had to give us additional space, and that's why we will be opening a new site, like for example on Staten Island, that's gonna be dedicated for high school, because as you know, the state now is mandating that we keep students beyond their 21 birthday or beyond 21. So that means more high school students are staying in District 75. But decisions regarding space and site, those decisions are made in collaboration with space planning and district planning. We just let them know what our projections are, and then they provide the space. And after that, you know the process. It has to go to the community. We go to a JPH, a joint public hearing, and then it has to be voted and approved by the PEP. We are lucky, as Co-President Angel just said, that last week in the Bronx, we had unanimous vote for all the District 75 proposals that were on the docket. And this is really a rare event, because sometimes, you know, some people abstain, some people vote against, but this time it was unanimous. So that means District 75 is really being included in all communities across the city. We're not gonna want to take space that you know, is not acceptable to us and to our children. They need to be in good and great spaces, and that's what we are working for, and that's what we will continue to push for.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Cedri, do you have another follow-up question, or?
No, I was just curious if the superintendent had anything on the drawing board for the next school year already, because I know I understand the analysis, which is also done, but also this is done months in advance. So if there's anything coming up that he can discuss at all at this point, that's all.
I will tell you, if the next 2 years, a lot of things can happen, but planning also is important to look at the future and plan ahead and be proactive. I am thinking the next 2 years, we are really want to expand on the work we are doing in our high school now. If you go and visit any one of our high school, you will see, and I guarantee you, and then I can guarantee that you will see that we are offering students different pathway, right, to success. Those that are seeking a high school diploma are being engaged. We are also supporting students that can benefit from employment opportunities. If you go to any one of our high schools, you will see that we are engaged in a lot of project-based learning, teaching students vocational skills. In the next 2 years, I am hoping that we will expand our travel training program. My dream as a superintendent today is I would love to have a travel training unit in every one of our high school, because we believe and we know that our students need to be as independent as they can be. And if we can do such thing, that will really support them. I don't know the last time you have been at the district office, you will see that we have created a program there where students from different District 75 high school can come there to acquire some important skill in hospitality training. This morning, I was at 79M meeting with New York City Commissioner for People with Disabilities, Commissioner Curry. And I was there with of course, Sasha, who is leading this work for us, and making plans for us to expand on the support we are providing to our students. I think I fail as a superintendent, and we all fail collectively if a student leaves District 75 and he's just going, and he, she, or they just going back home and just stay home. We want our students to be out there in the community in whatever capacity it is. We want them to continue to be successful, and that's why I really would love to continue to partner with each and every one of you. Whatever can benefit the district, whatever direction you want us to lean on, that's what we are willing to do, and that's why we met with the commissioner today. I don't know if Sasha is here, but she can tell you a little bit more about our vision for our high school students that are on the alternate assessment track.
Thank you, Superintendent Lausanne. It's a pleasure to see all of you this evening. Good evening to of course, our esteemed co-presidents. Thank you so much for having us in this space. We are working in collaboration with the commissioner from the Mayor's Office of People with Disabilities to take a look at our programs as we, superintendent and team, begin to re-envision and reimagine how we offer options to our students. We want to give your students and your children opportunities to experience the world of work in the comfort and safety of their classrooms and in their schools. We want to be able to create opportunities throughout our high schools that will allow our students to touch and feel and experience a variety of work-based learning opportunities, a variety of careers, a variety of fields, so that they can at some point transition into the world of work as a pathway. A number of our schools in District 75 have been doing this work for years. We want to support them in that work. We want to elevate the work that's being done in schools, and we want to partner with community organizations and businesses and career individuals in the fields of culinary arts, barbering. We're thinking of possibly doing some work in terms of horticultural work. We're partnering with the Office of Urban Agriculture. The executive director from the Office of Urban Agriculture is working in partnership with us to take a look at what we currently do in our schools, in our high schools, in our middle schools, to sort of reimagine that work and to support us financially, to support us in uplifting our programs, and in providing new opportunities and pathways for students when they leave us at age 22, or even if they leave us early at age 18 through 22. So we want our students to have more direct success when they leave us in terms of full-time employment. And I know that you as parents, you want that for them too. So we will certainly be partnering with all of you as parent leaders in this work as we begin to reimagine and re-envision what those programs look like and the supports that are needed. The work with the commissioner is really taking a look at the programs in each borough that we have, and she and her team are going to be working with her employment specialists to take a look at how they can partner with us to create those pathways, so that way they will be a little more seamless transition from our job sites, our transition work into the real work and real employment. So we'll look for more to come on this work. We're going to be partnering with some of our principals in our schools to expand and to share and to build on this work. Thank you.
So much, Ms. English. I do see that the next hand, it may be our last one, which would be Ms. Wanda Belines, who has some updates for us. And we do, as always, say thank you for your collaboration and work with District 75. You have the floor. Unless Wanda is still in transportation.
No. I actually got home like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure always to be amongst you all, because Alex is already in 11th grade, so it's been way too many years for me not to be part of you guys. And I am proud for those people who doesn't know me. My name is Wanda Balines. I am the District 75 representative in CECA. I'm also the treasurer of it. And I do have, because I only have 2 minutes, and I'm going to try to be very brief because I have a lot to share. So I'm going to leave anything regarding the Bronx Annual Parade that is scheduled to happen on May the 19th. I am leaving it to Stephanie Bonilla because she's my partner in crime in all this. She's in here, and I'm gonna leave her. I'm gonna leave it to her. I hope that's not gonna be problematic. But I wanted to discuss the activity that is set up to happen on May the 16th. That is gonna be with children, Rose F. Kennedy Center Children Evaluation and Rehabilitation Center. They do this family conference workshop kind of style. And I was approached by Miss Diana Rodriguez. She is one of the senior social workers on site. She wanted, because the years prior, will be the 8th time that they celebrate this conference, and we had never had anybody from District 75 having a table in there. We do not have to pay for it, and they just want to share the communication at large that District 75 says that we have 14 schools on it, that we have 14 schools in the Bronx in there, and they have really, really great information. So I'm leaving that as it is because I need more details, exactly what it is that they want to see. And of course, I share your email address with Ms. Rodriguez, and of course, the district office, and where in case that they need to contact anybody. But everything is through me right now, and I apologize for that if they haven't contacted you. The second thing that I wanted to bring to attention is that everybody knows that I've been the $750,000 that we're gonna be having the check. We're gonna be receiving the check this Friday. Has been a process that I've been involved since 2014. The schools that my daughter has been in has benefited greatly from that. And this year we got that with the collaboration and the funding, discretionary funding in this case, from Ms. Amanda Farias, the council member for District 18, and by the Bronx Borough President, Ms. Vanessa Gibson. And I need, even though she's not here right now, she needs to be thanked profusely because in all the years that I have been in District 75, no other borough president in the Bronx has ever approached and give us as much as she has. And that is the main reason why we want to participate in the parade, just to make sure that all the families, you don't need to pay, you only need to show up. And
2 minutes is up, Wanda.
sorry, but can you give me another minute or not? It's 8:22.
1 minute, that's it, I'm timing you, go ahead.
Okay, 1 minute.
Good.
Vote week for cycle 13, it's gonna be starting this Sunday. My school again is set up to win $450,000 for the cardio gym to prevent our children to gaining so much weight, so they don't have a sedentary lifestyle. Vote week finishes next Sunday, not this Sunday, the week after.
Time,
There you-
Wanda. Sorry, it's
Seriously?
8:23, 3 minutes I gave you.
Thank you. Anybody?
Email the rest or have Stephanie send it to us, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes,
I
Wanda.
gotta wrap this meeting up. I apologize.
Thank you, Wanda. You know, you can email, text, send the information, and we'll make sure that we get it out to the council and to any other members of our schools and wherever you need us to help you. You know, we have your back. So anything that you didn't get to say tonight, shoot it over to us in an email, and we'll make sure to keep you supported.
So I just put in there my cell phone number, so anybody can call.
Okay,
Before
thank
10
you
p.m.
so much. All righty, guys.
Right.
Thank you, Wanda. You know we love you to death.
Christy Angel, before we get
yes.
to the resolution, the voting of the resolution, we gotta discuss the Staten Island location for May 15th. CCD75 is one of our meetings, but the one for May 15th supposed to be in Staten Island.
Okay,
just remind me.
Okay, cool. So we can add that unto unfinished business that we can step into now.
Okay.
Miss
All
Vice
right.
President Montalban, do you have any suggestions for school sites for the 15th date that we have for the meeting? I know she's
I'm sorry. I mean, they're all great. We have so many amazing schools, honestly. You know,
can we maybe duplicate the school we used?
We do. There's the new there's the Patrides, the new site at Hungerford is very nice. I'm not sure if that it's available.
Okay, so maybe could we put maybe forward that we reach out to the Hungerford school, and then we also reach out to possibly, you remember the school that we visited last at Staten Island? I think it might.
Yeah, that was, I was trying to think of something
away?
more. I was trying to think of a more centrally located Staten Island school. I feel like the treaty is kind of like right in the middle of the island. Like, I don't know.
Council members, do we want to give? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say maybe we can like connect. Do we have to decide right now, or
no?
I'm
leaning in the same direction as you. Since you're on Staten Island, I think you would probably give us more feedback of a better place of where we could probably try to reach out to get permits, and we could do that on the back end as long as everyone is in agreement to just follow Miss Montalban's lead, since this is her entire district.
That's fine with me.
Do any other members on the that are present have any other feedback, or is this a consensus? All right, if this is a consensus, we will move forward with Ms. Montalban's recommendation for May 15th, and we will follow up on email thread. The last thing that we want to jump into is voting on the opposing mayoral control resolution. Do we have a motion to accept resolution 7 for opposing mayoral control?
It's 10.
Excuse me. Thank you, Co-President Daniels and
reminded me.
Verdejo. She told me earlier. I listened. You told me you did. I'm gonna mark it. Resolution 10. Do we have a motion to accept resolution 10 opposing mayoral control?
I motion to oppose the resolution to oppose mayor control. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Do we have any debate regarding this resolution? Hearing none, Mrs. Verdale, if we may move into a roll call vote.
Okay, Resolution 10 to oppose mayoral control of the New York City Department of Education. Christy Angel,
Yes.
Brisa Arias, Jamaica Collins,
Yes.
Andrea Daniels,
Yes.
Christy Montavon,
Yes.
Shanique Butler,
Yes.
John Herman, Vanessa Borrero.
Yes.
6 votes for yes, motion passed.
Awesome. Thank you so very much, council members. The only thing that's left is technically, if you guys have any under new business, if you have any ideas that you want to add for the agenda going into our next meeting. If not, you can always add on via email to the council. Are there any ideas going into the agenda, or would you guys like to email that moving forward? I see nods for email. So with that,
We'll email that moving forward. Well, I know I will.
absolutely. So with that being said, I'm going to honor the time of our council members and the audience that has been present. We are going to release our interpreters at 8:28 p.m. and we are going to call this meeting adjourned for 8:28. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
All right, we are adjourned at 8:28 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Please get home safely. Thank you for coming out in the rain and the wind. And those of you who are participating online, we will see you again shortly. As always, if you need us, D75 Council at schools.nyc.gov. Have a pleasant night. Thank you.